Okay, so let us begin today's class. You can read through it carefully. Okay, today is 10th of August 2021. It is a Tuesday, chapter 7D, and I am doing study of compound sulfuric acid. Today is the fourth day of myself transacting this lesson to you all. Okay, now yesterday I had done some chemical properties, reactions of sulfuric acid. Okay, reactions of sulfuric acid with dilute sulfuric acid with some elements, metallic elements, base. Okay, now anybody from this group who can write down the reaction of dilute sulfuric acid with copper oxide, write it in your copy and show it to me on the screen. Show it to me on the screen. I'm
Can
waiting.
you repeat, sir?
Reaction of dilute sulfuric acid. Reaction of dilute sulfuric acid with copper oxide. Reaction of dilute sulfuric acid with copper oxide. Reaction of dilute sulfuric acid with copper oxide. Write the equation in your exercise copy and then show me on your screen properly. Cu plus H2SO4. Shawangma Anima. Okay. Show me the complete equation. Okay, correct. Chewang is correct. Daxis, show me properly. Daxis, show me answer.
So lagging.
Okay. Writing.
Sir, H2SO4 plus CuO gives H2O plus CuSO4.
Okay, that is correct. Okay. Now you may put off your videos. Okay, that means you are revising. I don't know about the rest. Okay. Tenzing Sungrab is there. Tenzing Sungrab. Tenzing Sungrab Bhutia. Tenzing Sungrab Bhutia. I want you to show me your face. Otherwise, I'll mark you absent. Tenzing Sungrab Bhutia. Show me your face. Otherwise, you'll be marked absent. Okay, you are marked absent.
Sir, I'm here.
Tenzing Sungrab, you are there. Show me your face.
Sir, can you see the equation?
Yeah, I saw the equation. Okay, now I'm talking to Tenzing Sungrab Bhutia. Show me your face, otherwise you are marked absent. Okay, he's absent. Tenzing Sungrab is absent.
Sir, I'm present.
Show me your face then. I want to see your face. Put on the video. Okay. You are only in a vest, man. Properly.
Sir, I came from the washroom, no, sir.
You are in the washroom, not attending the class, no? Okay.
Sir, I just went for short time.
Okay. Now let us continue with the class.
Doing both.
Doing both. Okay, now mute yourselves. Let us continue with the chapter. Study of compounds, sulfuric acid. Okay, so we continue to the next chemical property of sulfuric acid. If you look at your screen, then you will see sulfuric acid as a least or non-volatile acid. It is a non-volatile acid. Concentrated sulfuric acid is a least or non-volatile acid. The meaning of non-volatile is it does not vaporize off easily in the air at room temperature. It is non-volatile. So here this reaction of sulfuric acid as a non-volatile acid becomes important for you all. Okay, why? Let me explain you. Because by reacting the salt of the volatile acid with a non-volatile acid, which is Kong sulfuric acid, and maintaining the temperature less than equal to 200 degrees Celsius, we get an acid salt and we get a volatile acid which is displaced. So these four equations become very important. The first one, sodium chloride salt. when it is reacted with sulfuric acid, concentrated. Sodium chloride salt is a salt of volatile acid, hydrochloric acid. It is a salt of hydrochloric acid, and hydrochloric acid is volatile. So when it is reacted with Kong sulfuric acid at temperatures less than equal to 200 degrees Celsius, it forms sodium hydrogen sulfate and hydrochloric acid is formed, which is volatile.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, if no volatile, if a salt is reacted with sulfuric acid, no, a base and an acid is formed.
No, 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 not a base. An acid salt is formed. This is an acid salt. It is an acid salt. NaHSO4, KHSO4, these are acid salts. Why are they acid salts? Because they contain hydrogen in them. Am I clear? Am I clear? Am I clear
Yes,
now?
sir. Yes, sir.
So here it is not salt and water forming. It is not salt or water forming. Here the concentrated sulfuric acid is able to expel, it is able to throw out the volatile acid from its salt, that is sodium chloride. Am I clear? Am I clear, boys?
Yes, sir.
So that's how this
Yes,
reaction
sir.
becomes important. Then the second equation, potassium chloride, KCl, reacting with concentrated sulfuric acid, again similarly, at temperatures less than equal to 200 degrees Celsius, it is forming potassium hydrogen sulfate and again a volatile acid, hydrochloric acid. So these are the two equations how you can prepare hydrochloric acid in the chemistry lab, in the laboratory. Okay. Then the next salt of volatile acid is sodium nitrate and potassium nitrate. If you react sodium nitrate with concentrated sulfuric acid and maintain the temperature less than equal to 200 degrees Celsius, it forms an acid salt, sodium hydrogen sulfate, and nitric acid. This nitric acid is volatile. Volatile means if you keep nitric acid in the room in an open container, it will vaporize off in the air and disappear because it forms vapor just at ordinary room temperature pressure conditions. Okay. Now, similarly, potassium nitrate also reacting with Kong sulfuric acid at temperatures less than equal to 200 degrees Celsius will give us an acid salt, potassium hydrogen sulfate and nitric acid. Again, nitric acid is a volatile acid. So, how will the question be asked from here? They will give you the equation. They will give you the equation. Please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. They will give you the equation and they'll ask you how is sulfuric acid behaving in this equation. So you must write sulfuric acid is behaving as a least or non-volatile acid. Okay, so that is how the question will be asked from this part of the chapter. Okay, the chemical property of the what you call sulfuric acid, that is concentrated sulfuric acid, it is behaving as a least or non-volatile acid. Or they will ask you write one chemical equation, write one balanced chemical equation to show that sulfuric acid is behaving as a least or non-volatile acid. So you can write any one of this equation out of these four. You just write any one of the equation. Okay, so this is one property, very important property. Now moving
So can you repeat again? So what is last? Some network was bad.
okay, network is bad. Okay, so they will ask you a question, write one chemical equation, write one chemical equation, balanced chemical equation to show or represent the behavior of sulfuric acid as a least or non-volatile acid. So you can write any one of these equations, any one in the balanced form. So your answer will be correct. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But you must mention that it is concentrated sulfuric acid. Kong sulfuric acid is a non-volatile acid. Now, Moving to the next slide over here. The next property, next important property of sulfuric acid, it is the behavior of sulfuric acid as an oxidizing agent. Sulfuric acid concentrated, it is a strong oxidizing agent. Why it is an oxidizing agent? Because if you take Kong sulfuric acid and warm it, heat it, it undergoes decomposition to produce nascent oxygen, free atom of oxygen. And this free atom of oxygen is responsible for oxidizing other substances with which it reacts. So here, if you see copper metal, the first example, reacting with Kong sulfuric acid, of course there is heating done. It forms copper sulfate, water and sulfur dioxide gas. That means copper is oxidized, copper sulfate, and we're getting sulfur dioxide gas. So this is the reaction where sulfuric acid is behaving as an oxidizing agent. Now, the most important things over here, the most important reaction, sulfuric acid as an oxidizing agent, these are very, very important. You can make a note of that. Very, very, very important. Reaction of non-metals like carbon, sulfur and phosphorus, very important. With Kong sulfuric acid, if it is carbon reacting with Kong sulfuric acid, it forms carbon dioxide, water and a gas, that is sulfur dioxide gas. This is also a gas, but the characteristic gas is sulfur dioxide. Similarly, if the non-metal sulfur is reacted with Kong sulfuric acid, it produces sulfur dioxide gas and water only. There is no other product formed. If you use phosphorus, a non-metal, with Kong sulfuric acid, it forms phosphoric acid. This one is phosphoric acid. Phosphoric acid, water and sulfur dioxide gas. So non-metals like carbon, sulfur and phosphorus react with Kong sulfuric acid where they get oxidized. Carbon is getting oxidized to carbon dioxide, sulfur is getting oxidized to sulfur dioxide, phosphorus is getting oxidized to phosphoric acid. Okay, so these reactions are important. So here in these four reactions, sulfuric acid is behaving like an oxidizing agent. Okay, now moving to the next slide under the same heading, sulfuric acid as an oxidizing agent. Now properly, oxidation of metals like copper and zinc. If you react copper metal with Kong sulfuric acid and heat the reaction mixture, then the copper is getting oxidized and the products obtained are copper sulfate, water and sulfur dioxide. Okay. Similarly, zinc with Kong sulfuric acid is giving zinc sulfate, water and sulfur dioxide. So you need to write this equation several times in order to be able to write them down correctly. So practice well. Finally, we have oxidation of inorganic compounds by Kong sulfuric acid. Inorganic compound, the first one is hydrogen iodide, Hi. It is hydrogen iodide. Hi is hydrogen iodide. It is hydrogen iodide. So hydrogen iodide, when it is reacted with Kong sulfuric acid and warmed, heated slightly, this hydrogen iodide gets oxidized to iodine, water and sulfur dioxide gas is formed. So this equation you must try to practice and learn well and remember. Similarly, a Rotteneck smelling gas like hydrogen sulfide on reaction with sulfuric acid gets oxidized to sulfur particles. Okay, and the other products are water and sulfur dioxide. So these are the behavior, these are the chemical reactions in which Kong sulfuric acid, it is behaving like an oxidizing agent. Okay, now moving to the next important slide over here. Sulfuric acid concentrated as a strong dehydrating agent. If you stand in the sun during the March past of 15th August, okay, then your body gets dehydrated, which means your body is losing water vapor to the atmosphere. In a similar way, concentrated sulfuric acid, it acts as a strong dehydrating agent. Kong sulfuric acid removes elements of water due to its strong affinity, lovingness for water from carbohydrates organic compounds. So let us see from carbohydrates the reactions. If you react glucose with Kong sulfuric acid, then it gives carbon and water vapor gets expelled. Similarly, if you react sucrose, please try to remember the formula of glucose C6H12O6. Sucrose is C12H22O11. With Kong sulfuric acid, it becomes carbon, that is called sugar charcoal, and water vapor. Similarly, cellulose C6H10O5, outside there is small n. This n stands for an integer, positive integer. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you react cellulose with Kong sulfuric acid, it forms again carbon and water vapor is expelled. So here in these three reactions, Kong sulfuric acid is behaving as a strong dehydrating agent by removing water from the given substance, okay, mathematically. Then moving to the next slide with organic compounds. The organic compounds which I have taken for example over here are formic acid, oxalic acid, and ethanol. Ethanol is the alcohol, the alcohol. So formic acid, the first one, this formic acid, okay, it is found in red ants. Ants, if they bite you, they will inject in your body formic acid. So if I take formic acid from the chemistry lab and react it with Kong sulfuric acid and the container is open, then I can sense, I can feel carbon monoxide, which is a poisonous gas coming out along with water vapor. So this reaction is dangerous to be carried out in the open. So you have to carry out this reaction in a closed container. Okay. Similarly, oxalic acid. If you react oxalic acid with Kong sulfuric acid, then this is how the reaction goes, breaks down. Carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and this is water. This is water. So carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and water is formed. So these reactions will help you in the next chapter, that is organic chemistry, the last chapter of your syllabus. Okay, now this also you try to learn. Okay, reaction of oxalic acid with Kong sulfuric acid. And the last one, it is a dehydration reaction. Dehydration reaction in which Kong sulfuric acid, when it is reacted with ethanol, from ethanol, water is removed. If you remove water from ethanol, the reaction is called dehydration, removal of water. Water is removed. And the product which is formed is ethene. Ethene has a formula like this, structural formula like this. C double bond C. Between the two carbons, there is a double bond. One hydrogen here, another hydrogen over here, one hydrogen over here, another hydrogen over here. That is ethene. This is our ethene. Okay. So try to remember this equation also. So in these three equations, you will see that Kong sulfuric acid is acting as a dehydrating agent. Okay. Now there is one more reaction to show you dehydration. Okay. If you react Kong sulfuric acid, it removes water of crystallization from hydrated salts. For example, if I take a salt which is called blue vitriol, it is called blue vitriol because it is blue in color. So the chemical name of this blue vitriol is copper sulfate pentahydrate. It is a blue vitriol, it is hydrous. If you react this blue vitriol with Kong sulfuric acid, then the color of this salt turns into a white anhydrous salt, white powdery substance, and water is expelled. So these are the reactions where sulfuric acid is behaving as a dehydrating agent. So they can ask you the question by giving the equation and ask you that what is the behavior of sulfuric acid in this reaction. So you must be able to write down that sulfuric acid is acting as a dehydrating agent. Okay. Now moving to the next slide over here, the dehydrating property now. Okay. Now if we add Kong sulfuric acid to sugar crystals, C12H22O11, this is sugar. C12H22O11 is sugar. Okay. If you look at sucrose, C12H22O11, that is sucrose. Okay. Again have a look, C12H22O11, this is sugar. If you react sugar with plenty of Kong sulfuric acid, then it turns into a black.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So what does N stand for?
N stands for a natural number of molecules. It can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 3, and so on. Okay. So That is the number of molecules of sulfuric acid. If I am reacting plenty, then the value of N will be higher. So the reaction will be more vigorous and it will be faster also. So when you react Kong sulfuric acid with sugar crystals, then it forms a black spongy mass of carbon which is formed. Along with it, you get water vapor and unreacted sulfuric acid is left behind. Okay. Now this reaction it is there in the book also, but the diagram which I am trying to show you is over here on the screen. If you see the sugar is here, if we add Kong sulfuric acid, this is how it comes out. You know, it come out and flow down. It has flown down over here. No? Are you getting it? So that
So
is
is
what
this
is
carbon?
this is black spongy. It is spongy mass which is called carbon. This is carbon. Okay. This black spongy thing it is carbon. Okay. Am I clear? Am I clear, boys?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So that
Yes,
was
sir.
about the addition of Kong sulfuric acid to sugar. Okay. After that, come to test for dilute sulfuric acid, chemical test. So if I take dilute sulfuric acid and to this dilute sulfuric acid, if I react this dilute sulfuric acid with barium chloride solution, then it forms a white precipitate of barium sulfate. It forms a white precipitate of barium sulfate that is sufficient. It forms a white precipitate of barium sulfate which is insoluble in acid. It's insoluble in maybe nitric acid or sulfuric acid. It's insoluble. Okay. Now, along with that, it forms hydrochloric acid also. So this is one test. So how to test? The first test, chemical test for dilute sulfuric acid. Take dilute sulfuric acid in a test tube. Okay, take a test tube, and in that you take dilute sulfuric acid. Okay, dilute sulfuric acid, and to it you add barium chloride solution. It is the reagent, barium chloride solution. So if we add barium chloride over here, this becomes into a white precipitate due to the formation of barium sulfate. Okay, that is one test. The other test is if you take sulfuric acid in a similar test tube and you add lead acetate solution. Lead acetate solution is the reagent to detect the presence of dilute sulfuric acid in an unknown solution. So if you add lead acetate to dilute sulfuric acid, it forms a black, sorry, it is a lead sulfate, which is also a white precipitate. It is also a white, it is actually chalky. It is actually chalky white precipitate of lead sulfate is formed. So in both these cases, test for dilute sulfuric acid, the first reagent is barium chloride. The second reagent is lead acetate. So you must remember this test. Okay. If you can learn the equation, it is very, very nice. Okay. Now, moving to the test for concentrated sulfuric acid. Because sulfuric acid is available in two forms. One is dilute, one is concentrated. So, dilute one I have explained you. Now, coming to the test for Kong sulfuric acid, if you look at the first one, if you react copper metal with Kong sulfuric acid and heat it produces sulfur dioxide gas. And this sulfur dioxide gas over here, it is tested. The gas is tested for sulfur dioxide gas. If you pass this gas through acidified potassium dichromate solution, the color of this potassium dichromate solution changes from orange color to green color. Changes from orange color to green color, confirming that the gas which has come out is sulfur dioxide gas. Okay. So that is the test for Kong sulfuric acid. Similarly, the other test is by using sodium chloride salt. Chemically pure sodium chloride salt, when it is reacted with Kong sulfuric acid at temperatures less than equal to 200 degrees Celsius, it produces hydrogen chloride gas. And this hydrogen chloride gas, it is tested for the HCl gas. It gives a dense white fumes of ammonium chloride when a glass rod dipped in ammonia solution is brought near it. So this is the test for HCl gas. So the very fact that this test for HCl gas is positive confirms that the given sample solution is Kong sulfuric acid. So these were the test for Kong sulfuric acid as well. Okay, now moving to our next slide. Once more, uses of sulfuric acid. There are plenty of uses. So important ones, I have marked it on the screen over there. It is used in making fertilizer. It is used in the production of steel and iron. It is used in chemical
Sir, how
manufacturing
is it used in manufacture of iron?
for the extraction. In the extraction of iron from its ore, no? Ore of iron is Fe2O3 and Fe3O4. So in one of the steps in the blast furnace, this sulfuric acid is used to remove the impurities. So that is how it is used in the production of steel and iron. Okay. Am I clear? Indirectly. This sulfuric acid is also used in chemical manufacturing industries. It is used in refining of petroleum to refine it to make it more pure, to remove the impurities. It is used to produce phosphoric acid also. It is used as a cleaning agent in industries to remove the rust from steel and iron. Okay. Metalling, that is called metalling of iron and steel. It is used as a catalyst to convert cyclohexane, an organic compound, to caprolactam used to make nylon fiber. Okay. This one is important. It is used in lead acid batteries as an electrolyte conducting medium. It is used in making ammonium sulfate. After that, fertilizer. It is used in storage batteries, in the car battery, inverter battery. Okay, so these are some uses of sulfuric acid which you should read. Okay, and then you should be able to write any three or any four of them. Okay, conveniently and
So
easily.
lead acid batteries means those car batteries.
Yeah, car batteries or inverter batteries at home. You have seen car batteries, no?
So it is written lead acid.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is
Yes,
same.
sir.
Lead acid batteries are same. Lead acid batteries are same. Okay, same car. It is
So it
car
is
battery.
written over there. You should not open the battery. So why?
It should not open because there might be chances of any impurity falling down and splashing of the acid because it is acid over there. No, you should not open the battery. Are you getting it? It should be
So,
tight.
but it is dilute.
It is dilute only, but with the reaction going on for quite some time, the acid turns concentrated. Again, water has to be added to make it dilute. That way. Are you getting it? We had distilled water. Remember?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We had distilled water, so that is why
Oh,
we are
yes, sir. That's
making
why
it
we have.
dilute. So when the reaction, when the current is being drawn from the battery, the lead storage batteries or the accumulator batteries, then the acid slowly becomes concentrated, and again it has to be made dilute by adding distilled water. Okay, that is how we draw current and recharge it again and again by using an inverter device. Okay, got it?
Yes,
Now,
sir.
moving to the last slide for today's chapter. Sulfuric acid uses. It is used to prepare many other acids like hydrochloric acid and nitric acid, which you have already seen in the previous slides. It is used as a sulfonating agent, manufacture of paper, dyes, and drugs. If newly made paper, newly made dyes, and drugs, if you smell them, they have a characteristic different smell. Have you smelled paper? New excise copy and all? New
Yes,
excise
sir.
copy, yeah, the
Yes, sir.
smell,
Yes, sir.
the characteristic smell that comes out, that is because of that paper has been sulfonated, disinfected. It has been disinfected. Sulfonation is done to disinfect those paper articles or dyes or drugs so that they are free from any bacteria or any viruses hanging on them. Okay, then next one is manufacturing modern synthetic detergents, the alkyl benzene sulfonates, which are biodegradable. So detergents, nowadays we use a lot of detergents containing alkyl benzene sulfonates, which are used to clean our clothes or clean so many other articles of home or daily use. Okay, this is already I've repeated the next one. It is used in lead acid car batteries. It is used in petroleum refining process also. So this brings us to the end of the chapter, sulfuric acid. That is chapter 7D, study of compounds. Okay, now from your textbook, in tomorrow's class, I will tell you and solve some very important questions only. Maximum 5 questions only I will solve in tomorrow's class. Okay. Are you getting my point? So
Yes, sir.
you must write down those questions, understand them, and learn them properly so that you're able to answer questions if questions are asked in the examination. Okay. By now, you must have known what is the syllabus. Your syllabus pattern has been slightly changed. Do you remember? Your syllabus pattern has
Yes, sir.
been slightly changed. It has
Yes,
been
sir.
slightly changed. Okay, it has been bifurcated semester wise now. There is semester 1, semester 2. Our semester 1 syllabus is complete. Okay, It is already complete, and we are already in semester 2. I'm doing the semester 2 syllabus right now. Okay, but no problem. I will, after completing this chapter, I will go and jump straight away to not organic chemistry. I'll be teaching you something about practical chemistry. Practical chemistry, I'll be teaching you about practical chemistry, where
Yes,
I'll
sir.
teach you how to detect the various acid radicals and various basic radicals and the test and the chemical reactions involved in those tests, because there are some theory questions also from the practical portion which is asked in the ICG examination, and I believe there will be plenty of practical based questions for you all, because the examination which you are going to have, as according to the ICC council, will be a highly objective type. Okay, so please hang on over there for some time, because I need to record your attendance. Okay, and then I will leave the class so that you can join the next class after this. Okay, so just hang on. Your attendance is downloading. It has been downloaded. Okay, now you may leave the class. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Yes.